Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the back nine coverage of the final round here at the Maine State Disc Golf Championships. We are back at the Pineland Farms course. This is one of the more beautiful courses we play on tour. I'm Tristan Tanner, joined here in the box again by Thomas Gilbert. Garrett Gurthie's got a little bit of a lead now to work with. Has pushed away from yourself and a couple of the other players here on the lead card during the front nine.
Yeah, really playing super solid, getting all the birdies he needs. And yeah, he has a 5-stroke lead over myself and another couple strokes over Jason and a few others. There are some people making pushes off Chase card, but Garrett is really playing a super solid game right now. It's going to really take something magical to catch him on the back nine here.
Here is that leaderboard check, and you can see Terry 6 down on the round, jumping up for a tie for third. Simon as well, and Mark Chapalonis at 7 down for the round, moving himself up into 6th place. Here we are on hole number 10, one of the harder playing par 4s on the day. Only 546 feet, but I think it plays a little bit longer than that number just because of the uphill nature of this hole. The first shot, most players are going to be playing a distance driver or a fast fairway driver through this right side gap, trying to get somewhere where these two roads cross. And that will leave you with two options into the green. There's this left side gap and a right side gap. Really anything that you can just to get up and have a putt on this green is going to be great.
Yeah, there are those two arrows that kind of points into the direction of where you want to hit. This first tee shot here is super tight. Really just trying to get a distance driver up there, somewhere to give yourself an approach. Here I have my Star Destroyer. It's just turned a little bit more than I wanted. Got a fortunate kick to leave me in the middle of the fairway, but much shorter than I wanted to.
Yeah, it definitely makes the approach much trickier being that far back. Is this Garrett going Firebird?
Yeah, and he turned it as well and got an unfortunate kick to the right side fairway. That's going to be in a tough position there from the right side. Now this is Jason's Champion Wraith. So he's just looking to kind of put this thing up the middle and try to turn it into that right gap. And it was turning, nearly executing that shot.
Really, really close there. Josh just seems to be a little bit off on his tee shots right now. That one coming out a little bit early. Going to be on that left side. There is a little bit of a tricky gap over there, so he might have something to get up and down. Oh, and Jason gets a super sneaky gap there. And that's going to be probably about 45 feet for his birdie.
Here I am having to go to standstill, Mako 3. And Cerise is pretty low. Gets a fortunate skip. That's going to leave me probably right around Circle 2's edge.
Garrett has to go with the forehand roller. Trying to keep that cutting right, but connects with those rocks. And leaves him with an approach still to be made. Josh had that left side gap. Couldn't quite tell where he ended up, but he did make some good forward progress. Oh, and this seemed to have gotten away from Garrett a little bit. Didn't quite hit his angle right out of his hand. A little bit farther away than he wants to be putting for his par.
And just catching that one tree that he might not have been able to see. That's going to kick him just at Circle 2, or Circle 1's edge, just inside Circle 2.
Man, Great bid for you from a long distance. Not quite able to connect. Jason leaves it quite a bit high out of his hand. Interestingly, this hole, after 80% of the field was able to hit the fairway off the tee, only 12% of the field was able to then get into circle one, putting for birdie. This course really, it's hard to get some short putts that you're confident on connecting on. A lot of circle two putts. You see Garrett just not quite able to convert that one. Going to be taking a bogey on this hole. You and Jason able to clean up your pars.
And Garrett and Josh just unable to get a clean approach to the green and are going to be left with bogeys there.
Moving into hole number 11. This was the second hardest playing hole on the day. Par 3, 358 feet. You're going to be throwing a shot through this gap, and then it's just trying to hurry up and get as far left as possible. Drives that come up near this rock wall that you can see are pretty incredible. You don't see many better than that. Once again, if you want a birdie on this hole, you're going to have to hit a very long putt.
Yeah, here I have my most overstable Star Destroyer. Trying to play the skip shot. Just pull it a little bit wide and catches that tree and pushes me down to the left side. Not ideal there.
Yeah, such a common tree to hit when you're trying to throw a really hard shot to then get that skip. It's really easy to just pull it slightly. You see Jason with the opposite mistake, just a little bit early release, kicking up to the right, and that's going to be a pretty tricky spot to scramble from.
Garrett go with that Star Firebird, I believe. And he pushes it pretty straight, but he's going to find that backside, which should have an easy access to the green.
Josh squares up that tree. Gonna have a tricky shot from there. Probably gonna have to go with this inside gap. Gets around those. Oh, that's a pretty good shot.
Yeah,
finding that rock wall. Gonna have a 50-footer to save his par.
Here I don't really have much. I'm just kind of hoping. I'm just throwing this fork really hard on Anheuser, trying to hit this gap. And cuts a little bit over, landed over the rock wall, and just is going to cut to maybe 45 feet or so.
Yeah, it's still a great shot from that position to just have a look at saving par. I was wrong. Jason does have a pretty good window here. Kind of just chops over that forehand a little bit too much. Didn't quite get that height and flex out that he wanted. Garrett able to just get that Sonic right up under the basket.
Here's Josh, the very long look here to save his par. Definitely trying to run this putt.
Oh. And that was so close to dropping in, just a little bit low.
Just not quite snapping my wrist there, getting the disc flat, and it's just high as in front of the basket. And here the sun was a little bit bright as I lowered my head into the putt. It just shined in my eyes, so I had to reset there, but focus that back up and make that par putt, or bogey putt, I mean.
Jason also cleaning up the bogey.
Oh.
Josh with a
Is that a stroke?
pretty short mini putt. Not quite committing on that, but he does commit on his regular putt for bogey. Garrett is going to have to drop in par.
Yeah. Good par, just playing clean through this back nines. Hole number 12 is a 390-foot par 3. This is a really, really tricky hole. It plays pretty good for the Anheuser. You really just want to start this off left and have it slow turn, trying to hit this gap here that you see the drone flying. Other plays is trying to throw a outside forehand that skips back into the green, and then also the roller. Really tricky shot here.
You see Garrett lining up that roller shot you were talking about. This is one you really have to get over pretty early. It's got to contend with some roots. This is on a really great angle, though.
Yeah, that was a great shot there, throwing his Roadrunner. He's going to leave himself with a circle's edge putt for birdie.
Is that your Sidewinder you chose there?
No, that was my Champion Orc.
Okay.
Yeah, and got a really nice gap hit there and left me with about 20 feet for birdie.
Jason going similar line, just a little bit higher. Isn't quite getting that fight out. Burns over a little bit short. Gonna have to make an approach. Josh also electing for that backhand. A little bit inside, a little bit nose up, catches some leaves. He's gonna be down by that road. Should have a look to get up and down here.
Going with that H2 again.
That'll work.
And that's right up there nice and close for his par.
Yeah, very well done.
Oh, I wanted to give her more than a run.
Garrett not quite getting the commitment on that putt. Leaves it a little bit high left. And that's a great birdie to grab on this hole. Only 8% of the field was able to find circle 1 in regulation. And there were only 5 birdies on the day on this hole.
Yep, definitely a bonus birdie here on the course. But everyone else here cleaning up their pars. Here we are with the leaderboard check-in. Garrett still leading it off with a 4-stroke lead. Harry Rothsberger and Simon Lizotte jumping the top 4. Marky Chap as well in the tied for 3rd position. Great round from him so far through 16 holes. And Jason Dore dropping into 6th place. Here we are, hole 13, 277-foot par 3. This is a really tricky hole. You want to play an Anheuser over top of this stump here that just kind of drifts to the right. There also is that local Heiser route. You might see a few players try that. It's a bit tight of a line, but it can get to the basket as well. And there's just these last few trees you have to contend with, which can make this hole even a bit trickier than it may seem.
This is one you really have to commit to your line because it is that blind shot. This is you going with your Nova down this left side. Slight turn right out of your hand. Just letting it glide down there. Catches a tree late, but that should be 25 feet probably for your birdie putt. And this is Garrett once again choosing that Glow Rock 3. Probably going to start this on a little bit of turn. Let it fight out just slightly. Catches a tree as well, but filters a little bit. Also going to be putting for birdie.
Oh, too early.
Yeah.
Jason a little bit early on the turn, catches a tree. And fortunate to actually get another tree hit, leaves him center fairway. Josh throwing a very similar line. Getting the opposite kick, also going to be in the fairway, having to throw an approach.
Money.
Going with that flex A2, catching a late tree, but going to be right there for his par. And here we go from Jason from big distance.
Get it.
Oh,
Come
and just
on.
an inch high from dropping the chains there. Really, really nice run there.
great birdie putt from you. Good one to stick, as this was one of the easier holes playing on the course. Garrett trying to do the same. A little bit shorter distance. That's
Yep.
no problem for him.
Almost just missed that.
Ever been in a cave before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the car!
How will we?
The car! Your offer has been accepted. Ever bought a house before?
It's our first time.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'll see you at the closing.
But how will we?
The closing!
Hole number 14 is a 291-foot par 3, playing pretty downhill. These two trees at the beginning of the hole frame up the gap that you need to hit. A lot of players are choosing a forehand on this hole, but some are choosing a turnover backhand. This hill that is short right of the basket is kind of tricky. It plays very skippy and fast and likes to create a lot of rollaways for the forehands coming into this green. Looks like you're going with your pig here. A little bit high. Sneaks through those branches.
Yeah, that's just going to leave me about 45 feet short. The putt down the hill. Garrett here with his AVR X3. He gets this a little bit flatter than he might want. Skipping down, that's going to leave him about 50 feet away.
Yeah, just didn't quite have the height he needed on that to let it fight back at the end. Jason going with a little bit of a faster disc. Doing it high. Using that late fade.
Oh, really nice there.
Good check bounce to not get that roll.
And just a little bit too soft of a flex there by Josh. He's going to come up a little bit short, but has this look from circle 2.
And very interesting, Garrett goes with the knee layup
Yeah.
there.
I think he's just playing that smart. He's in a good position right now, and he. Oh wow!
Ooh.
Great putt there by Josh.
That's
Just-
definitely one that you could get your round going with a little bit. He's been
Yeah.
having a little bit of a slower round, so to hit that one is really a momentum boost. And you are here from a pretty similar distance.
Oh, Thomas.
Oh, and
Doing, man.
just that wrist motion seems to be
Yeah.
just slightly off today on those longer putts.
Yeah, releasing the disc a little bit too much on hyzer, and not snapping it flat.
Oh,
And a little high left there, not a good putt. That's going to be a really disappointing bogey there. And then great cleanup there, leaving it nice and close for Jason. And Garrett and I just having short little tap-ins left. Hole 15, this is a bomber hole. You can see really, really big shots here. 695 feet, par 4. You really want to just play a shot maybe over these trees if you have the distance. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of players lay up to this left side and then throw maybe a hyzer into this green. This was a really, really tricky hole. Had a bit of wind playing as a factor.
Yeah, this is one that was definitely attackable for the bigger arms today. The wind switched to more of a right to left wind as opposed to the little bit of head we had throughout the week. But still, a lot of players like Jason choosing just to play up on top of this plateau to give themselves good footing down into the green. I'd assume Josh is going to play a pretty similar type of shot. Gets a pretty good flip up. Hyzering pretty left, but anywhere up there is fine. And I would assume Garrett's probably going to go for a little bit more than that. He's got his Halo Wraith out. Oh yeah, and he's going over the top. We saw him go huge first round, and this
is a smash, super high. Maybe just stalling that disc out a little bit more than he'd like. But that is way up there. Should be a really easy approach for his birdie.
A little bit of a reset there from you. You are going with that flippy Star Destroyer that you threw a couple holes back on hyzer. Oh, and that's turning really nicely.
Yeah, hit this angle perfectly.
Coming out at the perfect time. Wow, that is a smash drive. You're going to be somewhere over there, edge of circle 2 probably.
Yep, just beside that OTB wall, which is in bounds.
And that is probably somewhere where no one else has ever found off the tee on this hole, I feel like.
Yeah.
Josh hanging it a little bit too wide with that fairway driver. Catching those right side trees, he's just going to be pitching up from there. And this looks to be that Firebird again from Jason. This was a pretty tricky approach as it turns, and we're going straight into the headwind now. Oh, and he almost drops that one in the basket. Going a little bit long left.
They're going with a soft Firebird. Oh, catching that late tree. He's going to be about circle's edge. Josh left with this short approach. Tosses it up, maybe trying to throw it in. It's right there.
Still haven't got to your drive. Here you are, putting for eagle.
This is about 60 feet uphill. Crowd behind me.
Oh
And
my gosh.
that was such a good feeling putt. And I have heard rumors of this hole being eagled by Tyler Grady in the past, and I wanted to get my name up there with him. Super sweet putt. Perfect spin out of the hand, and that is a big confidence booster going into the rest of the round.
Yeah, especially with some of the putting woes you've had from long distance the rest of the day. That's a great one to hit. Jason unable to cash that just outside the circle putt. Garrett hitting a great putt for birdie.
Yeah.
Catching that tree on the approach.
Solid cleanups for par. A little disappointing, but I'm sure that they'll be okay with that.
Here's our leaderboard check-in once again. You can see yourself and Garrett at the top of the leaderboard still. Terry Roethlisberger and Simon Lizotte making a move, as well as Markey is now done with his round, coming in at a -9 for the round. Super on fire for him. And hole number 16 is played as the third easiest hole on the day today. Only 216 feet. There's this ridge line A lot of holes a lot of players are trying to play a checkup shot into this green, land it short on the hillside, skip it up a little bit.
Here I am, got my Nova. Again, just trying to play that into the hillside. This looks to be right on line. And comes up a little bit short on the hill than I wanted, but I'll have about a 25 footer coming back up at the basket. Garrett going with his Aviar X3, playing a soft hyzer. That is perfectly thrown, leaving him with just a mere 15 feet.
Get up. Get up.
And a little bit early from Jason, that needs to get up.
Yeah, he was super worried about this shot, but we saw it just barely clear the last of the cattails and leave himself with about an edge of circle look up the hill. And a funny story, Josh told me he threw the wrong disc. He threw his white PA3 and he was trying to throw his purple E2.
Very interesting. Not the hole you necessarily want to throw the wrong disc, especially with the wind. Probably looking for that little bit more overstability.
Really solid putt there. Great putt there to get the birdie on this hole. Really tricky with the headwind coming up this green. Here I am for my birdie putt.
Oh, left side. That needs to sit down.
It did not.
And you've got a long putt here. And that one sails a little bit. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, not happy with that. I need to commit more to just hitting the center chains on that putt. Garrett, after his great drive, cleans up his birdie. At this point in time, as I clean up from my bogey, I know that Garrett's just too far ahead now. I'm just happy for my friend and trying to root him down the stretch here.
And hole number 17, one of the hardest holes on this course. This left to right shot through this gap is really tricky, and this hole plays quite a bit longer than that 337-foot number. A lot of trees late here on the green that you have to contend with. Once again, any putt on this hole is something you're going to be super happy with.
Yeah, Garrett first up in the box here. Looking to turn this shot, and it gets a little bit of a nick off a tree there, and this is sailing beautifully down. It's a great little skip, and he is the closest I've ever seen on this hole. Probably about 20 feet or less.
Wow. Wow, finding circle one on this hole. Very uncommon. You see Jason turning the disc a little bit early after that late release.
It's up in there.
Gonna come up short right, and that is gonna be a scramble to be made.
Josh playing the right line, but just turning it a little too much. He's gonna catch a tree and leave himself with a tricky approach. Here I have my Flippier Star Thunderbird.
Has to hold. Catches a little bit, comes out a little bit early. Be somewhere in circle 2 over there.
Yeah, about a 40-foot look. This is a really tricky approach here. Going with that hyzer forehand around that tree and skips up really nicely. Oh, that's not ideal there.
Oh,
That was a sweet putt.
it's a huge putt for par after the errant jump putt approach.
Yeah, the funny thing is he told me, well, My odds of making this putt are a lot higher than the last one.
Wow. Incredible putt there for Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Yourself, you have this little bit of tree in the way. Oh, and once again,
Yeah.
left side on the putt.
Not getting that clean release. Definitely going to be working on that a little bit between the next tournament.
And Garrett able to snag that too.
Really great.
One of only 2 birdies on the day. The other person was Marky Chap, able to snag the birdie. There's Jason with the par. Yourself also cleaning up a par. Here we are on hole number 18. One of the easiest holes on the course, a 500-foot par 4. Everyone's just trying to play a skip shot with some sort of driver out to this left side, get somewhere out in the field, and then you'll have this uphill approach into this kind of more windy green. Definitely one that everyone is counting on to get a birdie on to finish out their round.
Mm-hmm. Here we got Double G throwing out his signature Emperor. Throwing it on nice hyzer and skipping it up the hill. He'll have a nice easy approach left.
And distance on this hole really doesn't matter too much. You're just trying to get that position up on the left side, not hit anything early. Jason doing the same, cleanly getting out of the gap. He might actually be up more on that flat part, a little bit better footing the more left you get on this hole.
Josh cutting a little bit inside, but he gets a little nice skip and roll up that hill. He'll be in a good position as well. And similar position for myself, just checking up on that hillside.
And this looks really good from Josh.
Oh yeah.
Coming up a little bit short, parking it for his birdie. Good way to finish out the round. Looks like you are going with a Gloucester P2.
Yep. Starting up there nice and flat, getting a little bit of skip and roll, and that will be a nice short putt left for my birdie to finish out the round. Garrett just tossing up there for fun, seeing what he can do, and parks it with his rock. He'll have a stress-free tap in for his win. And Jason with his champion rock, throwing it a little bit farther than he wanted. He's going to have a bit of a tester putt coming back for his birdie.
Oh, and that's a great putt to hit for birdie.
I think he just wanted one show for the last final hole for the fans.
Very well done there. You're able to clean up your birdie.
Wins birdie there by Josh.
Thank you,
Good showing for him this weekend. There you have it, Double G taking it down, Maine State champion.
Give it up for your
Congrats to
2020
Garrett.
Maine State champion, Double G, Garrett
Very well
Gurthie.
played weekend.
Yeah,
Thank
he
you
played
guys.
super solid
I
on
want to
both
thank all
courses.
the staff that put the tournament on,
shooting-
the DGPT Silver Series. I really hope this becomes official next year. Love this place, love the Mainers. Thanks for the awesome hospitality. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Garrett.
Great
Thank you,
attitude there on the
Infinite.
course. Thanks, Double G.
And thank you all for tuning in. If you haven't already, subscribe to GK Pro. Here is our final leaderboard check-in. See Garrett at the 25 under, and Simon and Terry both jumped up to tie with you for second place. Here are our players rounding off the top 10.
That'll wrap it up for the Maine State Championships. Again, like and subscribe to GK Pro, and thanks for watching.